Welcome everyone, and I thank you for joining me on Zedam Astrology once more. This video will deal with the period November 9th to the 23rd, 2021. It's your Tarot and Patra reading for a brighter day with Vedic Astrology to guide you over the sea of life. I invite you, as always, to visit zedamastrology.com, subscribe, share, sign up. You can view Patra readings, tarot spreads, runes, crystals, chakras. Welcome and view it for your personalized reports. Again, for my new subscribers, this is just an explanation as to the division of the sky into the signs, the rasi, the nakshatras, the stars, and the padas. And you would see that, the rashi is, or the zodiac sign, is those 12 signs that we all know from Aries to Pisces, or from Mesha to Meena. And then we have the nakshatras, 27 of them, that outline the stars and the birth that Vedic astrology look at. Because based on a person's moon nakshatra at the time of birth, Jyotish offers a more powerful and predictive technique compared to other forms of astrology. Then we have the padas, which are the nakshatras divided into padas or steps, as we say, and each nakshatra has 9 padas, so that you find that padas straddle a nakshatra. And this is just a short explanation. When you request your report, you would get a detailed analysis of all these things from your kundali that Zedam Astrology will do for you. We come to the transit of grahas for the period beginning November 9th, 2021. And what we see here is a stellium that we have going here in Libra with Sun, Mars, and Mercury. The ascendant is also there. But Sun, Mars, and Mercury are the 3 major planets in Libra at this time. And we see Sun at 24 Libra, Mars at 13 Libra, and Mercury at 12 Libra, so that you have both Mars and Mercury still combust, so that you still feel that kind of laziness, that you don't really want to participate in a lot of things, that you are just waiting for things to happen. You also probably need to look at your speech and your communication, your networking, because although Libra is the sign or the zodiac sign of balance and justice and things being made to be where they are supposed to be, Sun is there, and although Sun is debilitated, Sun still gives out that ego, that arrogance, that authoritarian kind of leadership, so that you have to be careful in how you speak and how you act still, because Sun is still there dealing with Mars and Mercury in a combust state. We have Mars also still having a mutual aspect with Saturn, because 4th from Mars you have Saturn, and then 10th from Saturn going around the zodiac you have Saturn aspecting Mars, Mercury, and Sun, so that you find too that Saturn will give you some kind of discipline in your actions and in your speech. Saturn may want to have some kind of interaction with Sun in a debilitated state, because remember too that Saturn is exalted in Libra, so that you would find that Saturn exalted here will give you some kind of discipline, some kind of activity that is slow but sure, so that at the end of the day we have a lot of things happening in Libra. And Libra, as I said before, is balancing the scale, that sign of justice. And we need to probably have that thought behind our heads, because at the end of the day we all want justice. We all want to be, given what we deserve and what we want out of life and what we have worked for. We also have Jupiter here giving a 9th aspect on Mars, Sun, Mercury, and the ascendant. So Jupiter, both Jupiter and Saturn is really fighting for, I suppose, authority in Libra, because Saturn will bring discipline. The guru Jupiter will bring intelligence, wisdom, learning, education, knowledge. So it is a good mix that you may find that balance that you need to work through this period beginning November 9th. We have Venus and Moon here, so that you might have a lot of secrets pending that, may be blinded by your mental capacity at this point in time. Because Sagittarius is also that sign, that religious sign that can turn fanatic. So you have to be very careful about how you think and what you see in terms of religion and learning in terms of the occult also. So that is one aspect there. We also have Mars aspecting Uranus and Rahu. And Mars will give some kind of, I suppose, action to Rahu, but Mars is still combustive. So while he may have some action and passion for this period beginning November 9th, he still is under the combustion of Sun. So he's still weak. So that his impact on Rahu may not be that great, that you would fight to do something rather than think. So that the impetus, the action from Mars to Rahu may not be what we want it to be beginning this period of November 9th. Okay, we come to the tarot spread for the period beginning November 9th to the 23rd, 2021. And as always, I'm starting off with the energy cards and the chakra wisdom card. Oh, it fell out, but not upright. So oh, there, I probably spoke a bit too early. The card that comes out here is forgiveness. Forgiveness. And what is forgiveness meaning for us this period? Is it that we are to be forgiven, or is it that we need to forgive somebody? Are we holding a grudge? We'll see. Let's see what the element will be. Earth. Oh, stability and grounded and foundation. And that earth is a continuation from the last period, because I believe we also had earth in that period. Let us look at the bhava. What bhava are we going to focus on for this period, or that these energies are circulating? Let us find out what bhava we are going to look at, what house we are going to focus on for the period. Wow. Okay, that bhava is the second bhava, bhava 2, which is family, assets, speech. And we just went through with Mercury, and we had to look at how our speech would be for the period, because Mercury is combust with Mars and Sun in Libra. So we probably need to look at that, because the second bhava is all about your mouth and what comes out of your mouth, and that is speech, how you communicate. Let us look at the planet now, or the graha, that is going to take us through with the energies and how we may have to reciprocate these energies. And that is Saturn. Wow, Saturn. And remember, Saturn is still direct now in his own home of Capricorn, and that is all about institution, governance. It's all about the masses. It's about doing things the correct way, slow and steady but sure, not lackadaisical or in a hurry. So Saturn is bringing some kind of discipline to us in terms of the period. So the deity, okay, Shesha Naga jumped out there, and let's move on. It's something, it just dealt a kind of instinct with me, but I'll pull back out that card. That's the Shesha Naga card for the deity, and it probably wanted me, the energies here just tells me to just choose a card, another deity, and probably needs to work in alignment with the Shesha Naga, and that deity is Narada Muni. Narada Muni, the sage of the gods. So the sage of the gods wants me to work with Shesha Naga, which is the god of the serpents. So you will find when I do the tarot spread, I'll pull back up that card, that Shesha Naga card, And here we have cards falling out at will. The moon has fell out upright, so again I'll put that aside and we'll move on and see what is happening with our tarot spread for this week. And this is the enlightenment pack that I have in my possession that we are using for this week. And let us see what is going to be pulled up for this week. And I think I might use the Tetrax. Okay, and we have two more cards coming out here, the 10 of Cups and the 7 of Cups. So a lot of emotions, because moon came out too, and moon is your mental capacity, and I spoke about that with the transit of the grahas. And then we have 7 of Cups and 10 of Cups. So what is on our minds, or what will be our emotions, or what will trigger our emotions? And remember, we also have forgiveness coming up. But let's deal with the Tetrax spread and see what is coming up. So the first card in the Tetrax spread is the Page of Swords. Page of Swords. Then we have the Devil. Well, it's not a bad card, but it does bring worries to some people. The Queen of Wands is the third card that we are pulling. So we'll see Devil and the Queen of Wands side by side. Then we have the 6 of Swords. A lot of intellect is happening here. And then we have the Tower. And the Tower is usually chaos or something that we don't see happening or that we can't deal with. And then we have the Queen of Cups. So we have double Queen here now, in different positions, albeit, but we do have double Queen. Then we have the 2 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles. And the next card we have is 4 of Cups. So again, emotions. Remember, 10 and 7 of Cups jumped out at us. Then we have 6 of Pentacles. Interesting. And the final card we have is the High Priestess. So we have a lot of outside interference in this reading. We have the Devil, we have High Priestess, we have the Tower. So we'll find out in our reading what these things mean and how we are required to deal with them. We start with forgiveness, and we see forgiveness is dealing with the innocence of a child being held by a rhino, a very aggressive animal. But it tells you about intentions rather than your pain or your feelings. So what are your intentions? Is your intention good or is your intention bad? How are you going to start off this period beginning November 9th? Are you forgiving yourself? Is it time of healing with your family? Because remember, we also pulled the second bhava, which is family, assets, your speech, your communication. So what are we forgiving, or how are we forgiving somebody? And this is that card, forgiveness. We then have Saturn, that brings that maturity to us. While the innocence of the child is there, we are mature adults and persons. We are parents, we are sisters, we are brothers, we are aunts and uncles. So that maturity gives us that caution, and we still have limits imposed upon us. So that is it limits on our emotions, because we have those cups coming up, the 10 of Cups and the 7 of Cups and the moon. So what are the limits imposed? Is it only our emotions, or is it our actions? We have to be considerate. We have to realize or be realistic about what we want. What are our intentions in this period? And the earth brings that stability and that foundation, that grounding to us. So Jupiter is there aspecting Libra with the balance, and Jupiter will bring that grounding through his intelligence and knowledge for us, because we have that grounding in our speech, in our actions, and in our egos, because Jupiter is giving that 9th aspect to Libra, where Sun, Mercury and Mars are presently posited. So that earth is where that stability and that grounding comes through. And these are the first 3 of the energy cards that we look at. I spoke about the second house, in terms of your resources, your assets. It's also about your beliefs, your family, what you value. What are the things you value? And this will bring us to that forgiveness card, your intentions. It's all about having patience and to get what you need rather than what you want. So is it that your emotions are going to be unfulfilled? Is it that you are too emotional this period? This is what the second house is all about, and it tells you, in family you may have to heal. Forgiveness in the second house, you may have to forgive yourself about thinking about others in a particular way. So this is what the second house is about, and this is where it's tied up or aligned with the energy cards. The deity here is the sage of the gods, Narada Muni, who brings you messages from the gods through song, and he is there giving you that meditation, that time to think, that time to understand yourself and where your spirituality is. And remember, we're gonna talk about the Seshanaka also, who is the god of the serpents. So some secret is coming through, or some things are happening or undulating where you can't see. A snake comes upon you very quietly and it strikes when you least expect it. So is it there's something that is changing? And what is changing? Because we have the Ten of Cups and the Seven of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is all about domestic bliss, celebration, fulfillment, happiness, enjoyment. And the Seven of Cups is you doing a self-examination. So you doing something, you are looking inside yourself to understand yourself. You are looking to be who you really want to be, so that you are there meditating and trying to understand yourself and what you have and what you need. So it all ties in: the second house, Narada Muni, the Ten of Cups and the Seven of Cups. It's all about balancing your needs, whether it's emotionally or with your resources. And here we have the moon and Sheshanaka, the king of the serpents. And I spoke about the moon. The moon is all about you, your mental health, your mental capacity. The moon also regenerates in secrets. There is something secretive about the moon. The moon hides, waxing and waning, and we feel differently when the tides are under the moon's influence of being waxing and waning. But we also looking at the king of the serpents, who is Seshanaka. And Seshanaka is the serpent that Lord Vishnu reclines on. And he reclines on this to bring about the right thing to the world, or the right balance to the world, because we are all waiting Lord Vishnu coming on Kalki, his 10th avatar, where he will bring balance to the world when the Kali Yuga time is past, when this Iron Age period is ended, where all things that can be wrong or could be wrong will go wrong. So that this might be a little insight into the balancing of the world coming into our own environment, or our personal space, into the second house, so that there is a balance, because Lord Vishnu is here with us. He is sitting there to come to us at the right time, and probably the right time for these secrets to come out and for us to deal with it, and the right time for us to balance our assets, our family, is now, the period beginning November 9th. Okay, with the first three cards in this Tetrax spread, we have the Page of Swords, the Devil, and the Queen of Wands. The Page of Swords is all about the premise or the foundation of this entire spread. The Devil deals with the dark cosmic forces, and the Queen of Wands with the light cosmic forces. So let us delve into it a little deeper. Okay, the Page of Swords tells us that we have set high standards for ourselves that we may not be able to meet this period, and probably that's why the forgiveness card came about, in that, you know, we need to forgive ourselves for setting these standards that we cannot meet at this time. It might be for a multiplicity of reasons. You know, it may not be practical at this point in time. It may not be realistic. We may not have the resources that we want in terms of the second house giving us those resources because of the placement or the position of other grahas in our kundali, and you know how it aspects each other and how it's affecting us. So that at this point in time, the second house may not give us the resources for us to meet those high standards, or you know, those foundations that we lay down for our future, that we may not be able to meet those. So that is the foundation for this this spread for this period beginning November 9th, 2021. The consequences for us setting those high standards brings us to the Devil card. You know, that we have lost faith, we have tied ourselves to the material resources, we have tied ourselves to measuring our growth and our development through our assets in the second house, in the second bhava. We are chained to our worldly desires. You know, the devil is there, but the devil is not holding us. We are holding ourselves there because we can easily get out of this chain. We have the tree of knowledge and the tree of power there, and we are not utilizing it as we want to utilize it. Jupiter is trying to give us that aspect from Aquarius to Libra, that ninth aspect, to give us that wisdom. But whatever he's doing is really not enough at this point in time, because he is also giving that aspect where we don't have that passion, that action to move, because Mars is still combust and Mercury is also combust, so that, you know, we feel kind of like if our life is extinguished, but it's through our own doing. The devil is not holding us. He is not holding the chain. We have put those chains around our necks that we could easily take off, but we have put ourselves into this position because we have put our standards to our resources rather than to ourselves. We have not done what the Seven of Cups want us to do that self-examination and understand who we really are. And the Queen of Wands tells us who we are. We are strong, we are powerful, we are independent, we have enthusiasm, we have spirit, we are fun, we are self-confident, we are self-assured, we are wholesome. And this is where the conflict comes in. And probably the Seven of Cups, the Moon, and the Ten of Cups, all those emotions, we are battling all those emotions to be conflicted as to our real strength. And our real strength comes from the light cosmic forces, and those are the forces that are guiding you. And it says the Queen of Wands, and it tells you you are capable. So take charge of this situation. Be determined, be independent, have faith and believe in yourself. And we have the spiritual forces here in the guise of the Six of Swords, the Tower, and the Queen of Cups. And these are the destroyer, sustainer, and creator in the spread. So that let us see what they each mean for us for this period. Swords ask us to look at what we need to move or remove from our life for us to move forward, and it tells us there's a change coming. We have taken that boat over the sea of life from one part of the world to another, and it's going to be a smooth sailing. There are no rough waters. We are being guided there. The swords are there at our backs, holding us in place so that we won't fall over. You know, a situation is calming down, so that, you know, if you were going through something for the longest while with your family or with any other period of governance or with an institution, it is coming to an end. You know, don't be wary anymore. It is mental stability coming to you in terms of what you need to do. And this is what needs to be removed. We need to understand that we have to take that step forward. We have to move on. We have to start the healing. We have to progress. But we need to progress slow, because Saturn is the graha of the card here. And Saturn is all about plodding along slowly but surely. We always say Saturn delays, but he does not deny. So let us understand that probably a holiday, a vacation, a transition, some journey is going to help us to destroy or remove ourselves from a situation or a place that is holding us back. And the Tower is the card that is sustaining us. It is the card that helps you maintain your balanced life. And it shows you exactly that you have to remove yourself from isolation. You have to come out of that tower or you will be kicked out, because you have the temporary obstacles. You have to accept change. Hope and new beginnings are there for you. But you can only do that if you remove yourself from where you have isolated yourself from. So have you isolated yourself from your family? Is the second Baba saying that you have isolated yourself from your family? Is it that you need to pay them a visit? Is it that you need to change your surrounding? Take that journey, whether it's short or long, to visit friends and family or someone in your community, someone who will give you that guidance, some guru or teacher that will give you the hope and the new beginnings. You have to let go of material possessions also for that balance to come into your life. And remember the devil there in that card, where the dark cosmic forces, where it is your reaction to the state of being. That was the devil card, where you have chained yourself to material resources, and the Tower here is telling you to let go of material resources, so that at the end of the day, the Tower is giving you that balance, that intuition that your balance needs to come about through change, through you accepting and forgiving yourselves. The Queen of Cups is the card that drives you in the new direction. And we just went through the Tower, and the Graha of the Tower was Mars. And remember, Mars is still combust, and at the end of the day, now that Mars is combust and doesn't have a lot of energy, you can propel yourself, give yourself that extra push so that you can take that new direction. And the Queen of Cups here tells you that you can be a lot less sensitive, gentle, caring. Your intuition and your imagination can help you through with the Graha of the card here, Moon. And remember, Moon, Seven of Cups and Ten of Cups were the cards that just fell out, and they are now aligning themselves with the Queen of Cups, the ultimate card cups, of that mental nurturing, that caring, where you always think deeply about a situation before you move forward. But it's also telling you that here you are at the shoreline, ready to dip your feet into that journey, for you to follow your heart, for you to follow your intuition, for you to be happy on that journey, or for you to gain comfort at the end of that journey. So learn to listen to yourself, be sympathetic to yourself, forgive yourself. Understand that you have done what you were required to do, that you are in a position where balance must come in your life. You must think about yourself a little more. You must give yourself a pat on the back a little more. You must understand that you are strong and capable like the Queen of Wands. You are independent. You are wise. You have authority and you have the power. So dip your feet in that water. Take that journey. Change your location, whether it's in your mind or in your physical location. Change that location and understand that you can be creative. And this will give you that exploration into a new direction. The Two of Pentacles and the Four of Cups have aligned themselves to the material world of earth and water, because Pentacles is aligned to the earth and Cups is aligned to water. So let's look at it a little more closely. And the material world with the Two of Pentacles tells you about your finances, the financial decisions that you are making, where you are juggling your finances, where your cash flows are being affected. And this is all about the second bhava, You know, the second house, you are balancing a juggling act up and down. Money keeps coming in, but it keeps going out too. You have money transfers, you have money doubling, but you also have financial stress because you have mixed fluctuations. And this is the emotional conflict that you are having in making that decision. Probably would you have enough money to make that change? When you make that change, what is going to happen to your finances? Is it that when you take that journey, you are leaving behind your finances? And when you reach at the end of your journey, will you get any finances? So this is what is conflicting you, for you not dipping your toe into that water, where the Queen of Cups is there giving you that gentle push. But what is really on the material world on your mind is the Two of Pentacles, your resources. So is it that you don't have enough for a rainy day? Is it that you don't have a contingency plan? Is it your fear of moving forward without resources? What is your fear? What is the resources that you wish to hold on to, that you wish to tie yourself to the devil? Because it's telling you that resources is bringing the fear, resources is bringing the stress. However you think about it, that is what has tied you to the devil. The Four of Cups gives you a further insight into the material world, into the exploration of your emotions. And the Two of Pentacles was how you are coping with everyday life. Now the Four of Cups is telling you explore your emotions. And it tells you that you seem to be detached, you're disinterested, you have an apathy about you. And probably this is all about Mars. You know, Mars not having that energy right now because Mars is combust in Libra. But the Graha of this card is Moon, and it is all in your mind because you have four cups. One has gone into the sky or the stars, as we may say from this card, but three are there standing upright and filled. So stop daydreaming, stop fantasizing, you know, stop being like if you're half, the glass is half full. Be positive, be aware, seek the opportunities, take away that fatigue and that tiredness, that depression. You know, don't let Mars and your inaction and that lethargy give you a view that you can't take that step, that you can't take that journey, that you can't make that change. You know, don't be spaced out. Take your time, think about it, and understand that it's all in your mind, but you can move away from that because now you have an inkling that, you know, it's just your mental capacity, your mental thoughts at this time that are holding you back. Your emotions are there being riddled with less confidence, but the Queen of Wands have given you the confidence. The Queen of Cups have doubled that in telling you that, you know, be gentle about yourself. Don't put yourself in a position where you feel you have lost something. You have gained a lot. You have gained experience. You have gained knowledge. Jupiter is there aspecting Mercury, Mars, and Sun. You know, so you have gained that expansion from Jupiter. Saturn is also giving you that plodding, that hard working energy for you to move forward slowly but surely. So think about it and understand that it is a mental issue with you in terms of how you think beginning this period, November 9th. The final two cards in this Tetrax spread for you, and we have the Six of Pentacles and the High Priestess in the unenviable position of your goals and your ambition. So what are your goals and ambition with all this balancing act that you have to do and thinking about yourself in a more positive light rather than being depressed like the Four of Cups or not understanding what the Seven of Cups is telling you? Let's take a look-see. And there we have it. The Six of Pentacles is telling you to balance the scales. Balance the scales with what you have to what you need to do. And in this card we are seeing that the gentleman has money, he has assets, he has resources, and he's sharing with those less fortunate. In this reading, your second bhava is the focus in terms of your family, your assets, your communication, your speech. So is it that you need to share emotionally or materially with your family? Or is it that you want them to share with you? who are you in this card? Are you the giver or the receiver? And that is where you have to look at, do you wish to hire somebody? Is it that you wish to do charity? Are you doing something in terms of patronage, investing? Did you get a windfall? um, should you be non-judgmental? We spoke about it before in terms of how you think about somebody, and you need to get forgiveness from that person in terms how you thought about them. And is this part of your family? Is this the healing that you have to do? But the scales here are telling us it's a balancing act, and you need to balance what you have, what you need, and what you can share. Your will and ambition is created here through the High Priestess. And this card is also related to the moon. And remember, the moon is your mental thoughts, your mental faculties. We also had the 10 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, the 4 of Cups. So there's a lot of emotional or mental agility going on with you this week. There is chaos through the Tower, there is changes, and your addiction to material resources through the Devil card. So what is your will and ambition? Is it that you want that duality of balance? And balance comes up here again, Is it your duty? Is it your severity that you want? But the cross tells you it's a balance, It's a duality of balance in terms of the two pillars on either side of you, where you have Bear's severity, and then you have Joachim, mercy. So, as the last card told us in the Six of Pentacles, are you going to have mercy on yourself and your family and your community? Or are you going to be severe and continue to think about yourself in a negative way? Or think about people in a negative way that they may not deserve? Or even if they do deserve it, do you really want that on your mind? Why do you want to think negative about somebody? And let us understand that we need to create the balance here, and we can only create the balance if we like ourselves. The moon is there, waxing and waning on the head of the High Priestess, and the earth is there in terms of the cube that she's sitting on. So you need to have dominion over your mind. And that is your will and ambition, so that your mind doesn't stray, your mind is not in chaos. And moon right now is with Venus at the beginning of this period, November 9th, but they are in Sagittarius, the natural 9th house of the zodiac, and that will be, kind of religion, divinity, guru, teaching, education, knowledge, your father, or father figures, elders. So let's understand that for this period, all the cards, the transit of the grahas, pointing us to balance, and balance through our minds, not our speech, not our action, balance through our minds. Right, we come back to the transit of the grahas for the end of the period beginning 9th of November to the 23rd of November. And we see that Mars is now given a little arm room. He is there posited in Libra still, but he is still combust because Sun is still within 17 degrees of him, even though it's two different zodiac signs. Because Sun is at 8 degrees Scorpio, while Mars is 23 degrees Libra. So Mars is still combust because it's 17 degrees that makes him or gives him combustion from the Sun. Mercury is also moved with Sun, and Mercury is there at 5 Scorpio. So Mercury is combust, and Mercury is your Amatya Karaka for this period, or from this date. And that means that you need speech to get your heart's desire. You need to communicate to get your heart's desire. But Mercury is combust. So you don't want to give garbled or misguided information, or you don't want to say something that you don't want to say to whomever you are speaking to. Even so, you don't want to write, because this is communication, verbal and non-verbal. So watch what you write, watch what you comment on. understand that your speech may be taken in a different way. You may not say it how you want to say it. The meaning may be lost on someone, and you will create that chaos and that attachment to the devil in terms of something, you know, not right happening to you. So this is what is happening here. And then we have K2. You know, K2 is also here in Scorpio, and K2 is at 8 Scorpio. So K2 and the Sun is right on top of each other. And what does that mean? It means that the Sun is still, you know, not giving of its best, and that you need to watch your ego. You need to watch how you use authority and how you lead. You know, you need to watch how you deal with elders, your parents, your father in particular, you know, or elder brothers in your family, elder cousins, so that, you know, look at that and understand that things are happening, planets are moving, and you need to keep watch and understand that, you know, the planets can affect you. The planets can give you joy, or it can give you sorrow. And the Mercury and Mars are still combust. K2 and Sun is there in Scorpio, and that says a lot. Venus still in Sagittarius. Saturn is in his own home in Capricorn, and Jupiter is in Aquarius. So that we have some movement, we have some aspects, we have some changes, and it all tells you again to continue to be mindful that your actions and your speech is not what you want it to be, even though Mars is there by himself now in Libra. Saturn and Mars are still having a mutual aspect. Saturn with his 10th aspect, and Mars with the 4th aspect. So it's a full aspect, so that they are looking at each other and trying to not outdo, but trying to control their own significations in terms of productivity, discipline, action, passion, you know, taking that step forward. So be careful. Understand that you know what you have to do, that you know you can do it. The Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups are there for you to give you that nurturing and that independence and that authority, but use it wisely. Bhagwan's blessings have allowed me to complete another video for you, sharing my knowledge, transferring my knowledge, so that we can both learn and develop in this time. I thank you once again for joining me. I ask that you sign up, you share, you subscribe. Hopefully all is well with you. I ask that Bhagwan bless you in this time. I thank you once again, and I will see you next time. Bye.